Oh no, it's good.
You sure?
Mhm.
Okay. And so this ain't in your shot.
Okay.
Where did he go? Let
You blow my mind, yeah. Through space and time, baby. You blow my mind, it's crazy. You blow my mind, yeah.
Hello, guys. Woo! We are here. We are here. It is time for Mind, Body, and Goals, and I am Tiffani R. Singz. Thank you guys for tuning in every week. We have some exciting topics coming up. We have some exciting guests. We have some awesome guests for tonight as well. So, guys, I need you, if you were the first three people to tune in tonight to Boss Up Houston Network, I need you to drop your names in the chat, okay? Please drop your names in the chat. I'm giving prizes for the first three people who are tuning in and sharing the video. You have to tune in and share the video to get your prize, okay? So, guys, it is an awesome time. We are grateful that we are still living during this pandemic. We've had a lot of people to pass on during this time. We've had some tragedy. So if you're still here, it is a blessing that you are. So please don't take your life for granted. Don't take your loved ones for granted. Live your life to the fullest. Be kind. Do the best that you can while you're still here. So, guys, we are here. I am here, and this is Boss Up Houston Network, and we are just excited. If you guys want to advertise, please remember we have advertising packages available. You can message Boss Up Houston on Facebook. You can also message Shamir Bacon on Facebook or myself, and we will get you the information that you need so that you can go ahead and take advantage of these advertising packages that will be seen to thousands of people, and you will not be disappointed, and you're going to get a great deal for your advertising package, okay? So, guys, I just want to shout out some people that I see here. Ken Mills, I see you with a first name here. I see Candace Joseph, thank you. And I'm waiting on some more. So I want to see who's sharing and putting their name. The first three people that share and put their name, you're going to get a prize after this show. And I will message you and I'll get in touch with you and we'll go ahead and get it going. People who are tuned in tonight, I see Sharana tuned in. I see Chris Mosley tuned in. Thank you for tuning in. Please share this video. So, guys, tonight we're going to be talking about student and parent views during COVID-19. Okay? And we have some awesome guests. As you know, I am an educator. I will be starting my 8th year in education as a teacher, and I teach math, middle school. I have taught 7th and 8th grade math, and I taught 6th grade math for 1 year. And so, guys, it is very important as educators to take those students, love on them, make sure they have what they need. And being an educator and administrator in education are some of the toughest jobs, okay? So we have to make sure that we as educators and administrators stay healthy and sane so we can do the best with these youth that we have to deal with and have to work with on a day-to-day basis. Now, as you know, there are some districts that are going back to online teaching, online school. There are some where some of the teachers will have to go back into the building and the students will have to stay at home and do online learning. And then there are some that, the students and the teachers have to go back into the school building. Okay, so I have an awesome administrator here tonight, Dr. Carolyn Bobb-Green, and her daughter, Jamie Green. I used to teach Jamie at Harmony Schools. So, guys, we have some awesome feedback from them tonight on the COVID-19, the effects, being at home, and everything in that matter. So, I want to always talk about health in our community. We are right now in a time where people are eating all kinds of foods. Okay, now if you're here in the chat, I want you to type some foods you've been eating through this COVID-19. Okay, I can name some. We got pizza. Now I haven't been eating it, but I know the foods. We got some pizza. We got chicken. We got Olive Garden. We have what else? Y'all name off some things. Pork chops, steaks, all kinds of food that are comfort foods, soul foods, because we don't know how to handle being in the house for such an extended time. We don't know how to handle being there and having to look at our significant other or be at home by ourselves if we don't have a significant other, or we don't know how to handle being with our children at home so long. So we turn to food, snacks, and different things. I see some people, burgers, McDonald's, Wingstop. Absolutely. Now, y'all, I loved me some Wingstop. Okay? Loved. Past tense. Okay? But some of the stuff that we are putting into our bodies have negative effects on us, causes us to get these health problems, and we don't know where they came from. They just come out of nowhere. So, guys, I'm happy today to tell you that I am 46 and a half pounds down. Let's make some noise. Make some noise. Thank you. We are, I'm on a challenge called the 30-33 Lifestyle Challenge with TLC, Total Life Changes. I'm sure you've seen the NutriBurst. I'm sure you've seen the detox tea and all of that. The products work if you work. Amen. The products work if you work, okay? That means if I'm detoxing my body, I can't go to Wingstop and put toxins back in. How is the tea going to work if I'm putting toxins back in and the tea is supposed to detox? See, I have to let people know you have got to change. We called it total life change. We have to change our eating. We got to change what we are putting in our body so we can change our bodies, all right? So, yes, I take the NutriBurst. I take the NRG, the energy pill that gives me focus. And I also take the tea, all right, the detox tea. So this is how I've been able, it's been an aid, a major aid in helping me achieve these goals, all right? So, guys, change your eating. If you've been having a struggle with losing weight, you may need some aids like these to help you. Some people can drop the weight real quick. They don't need any extra, and that's great. Let's give a hand for those people. But I'm not that person. So I know I needed some things to help me to aid in the weight loss. All right. So anyway, I see Marquetta here tuned in. Thank you for tuning in tonight. I see my husband tuned in. I'm sure he has. I'm sure he has our little bit Isaiah tuned in, and we are just happy here to be here at Boss Up Houston Network. Okay, guys, these guys here, I just want to say live. They're professional. They have everything set up, and we don't have to do anything. You know, we come in, we get ready to, we test our mics, and we get ready to roll. You know, and see, when you want to go somewhere, you gotta link up, okay, with people who are gonna get you to help to the next level. We can't be shooting in our garages. See, that's not what I'm here to do. Because when you have a message, when you want to do something right, you've got to invest first. You got to invest to get what you want. All right? We can't be shooting in our garages and things. And I'm just past that point, y'all. Y'all know I'm I'm past that point. I can't shoot at home because I started my show a year or two ago, and that was one level. I thank God for it. Now it's time to go up. So if you're listening now, when you start at one level, okay, the next thing you do needs to be up a level or a couple of levels. See, we can't be doing concerts in the garage and on the driveway. All right? You know, and that kind of stuff I do on my Instagram, you know, to get people to, you know, to engage. They like to hear me singing and different things, but some things need to be in a different setup, a professional setup. So thank you, Boss Up Houston Network, for everything you've done to help us get this show where I want it to be, and so we can get to some new levels here. So, hey, Mom. Pastor Alvaro is watching tonight. Thank you for tuning in. Guys, please share this video tonight, and we're going to be talking about the student and parent views during COVID-19 while being at home. All right. Please share this video. We thank you guys for tuning in and for everything that you're doing here in Houston. You're still living. Stay strong. We're in the middle of a pandemic, but we still can make moves during this time. So we thank you so much, and we'll be right back. This is Boss Up Houston Network, and this is Mind, Body, and Goals.
I want to give you the opportunity to tell your truth. So let's start with what happened.
This is Red Table Talk. Red Table Talk. Red Table Talk. This table carries no judgment.
I suffered trauma at an early age.
This table brings out your truth.
I had to hit rock bottom. I had to lose everything.
This table encourages you to share your story.
I was just caught up in that pain.
This table has room for everyone. For everyone.
Red Table makes me emotional.
When there's a lot of love there, there's always a path towards healing.
Intimate, provocative, unfiltered. Join us. Take a seat at the table. Only on Facebook Watch.
This is Mind, Body, and Goals, and I am Tiffani R. Singz. I'm going to give a hand for my guests tonight. Woo! Y'all see these pretty people here? Guys, as you know, I'm going into my 8th year of education as a teacher, a math teacher. I have had the pleasure of teaching lovely students such as this one, Jamie Green. And this is her wonderful mom, Dr. Carolyn Bobb-Green. And we will get into why she's doctor and what she does. I had no idea, guys. So all you teachers, okay, make sure you own your stuff when you teach. You don't know who their parents are, okay? Did I do a good job?
You did do a good job.
Okay.
You did a wonderful job.
Thank you. So, guys, I thank y'all for coming on today to talk about, effects, the student and parent views of COVID-19 and positives and negatives of being at home during this pandemic, right? So, Jamie, can you tell them where I taught you and what did I teach you and what grade?
You taught me at Harmony Science Academy my 5th grade year. You taught me math.
Oh, I taught 5th grade? Okay, I forgot.
You taught me math. And I think you're like the only teacher that I still have contact with, and you're the only one that actually taught me something.
Oh,
and I
wow.
still use those strategies today.
Oh, wow. Oh, my gosh. What, Jamie, what connected you? I know, you dealt with some things. I talked to your sister as well. What connected you with me to actually be able to learn things, in the classroom, but we were able to actually talk about other things?
I know my 5th grade year wasn't. I know I was but I just know that like communicating, like asking more questions, like not being quiet, like actually engaging into like the lessons and communicating, like staying for tutoring, and you having meetings with my mom, and like you showing me more strategies that really helped.
Awesome. And guys, I'm that kind of teacher. I get all up in your business.
Yes.
I
Grateful for it.
Because, guys, we know as in our community and as females, we go through a lot in middle school and high school. And I had a couple of teachers that was in my business that helped us move along. When you see something as an educator that could affect your students, it's not just about the books, we are the parent 8 or 9 hours a day at the school, and then when they get home, sometimes the parents don't know everything that goes on. Sometimes the students are scared to share with the parents what may be going on because they don't want their parents to come up and mess up the school. I understand. But I'm that kind of teacher to be there, and I kind of watch my students, and I say, hey, something's going on with them, or something's going on. Let me see if I can help. And then I gain their trust. We can't help people, and we're going to go share it to other teachers and to other students in the school. I kind of keep personal things to myself, and I ask them, okay, do you want me to share? If they're not in danger, of course. If they don't want me to share, then I don't share with other people, because students don't want things being said with other educators that they may not be as close with, So, Jamie, being at home with the COVID-19, give me some positives of you being at home.
I started my first driving course and I finished it all. I got my permit. I started working with my mom, both of her jobs, the boutique and her daycare. I earned a lot of money. I got to spend more time and get closer with my mom and my cousin and my sister.
Awesome.
Yes.
So you got your driving permit?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. Is she asking for a car already?
Yes. yes.
Jamie, I'm looking at you and I say, she's beautiful. Oh my God. You know, we don't know who we're going to see later on. And I taught you in 5th grade, guys. She's going to 10th grade. I'm like, whoa. Okay. So let's get to this wonderful lady here. Please tell us who you are and why are you Dr. Carolyn Bobb-Green, and I didn't know it. And tell us what you do and your role.
Okay, so I am Dr. Carolyn Bobb-Green. I have a PhD in curriculum and instruction, education, and a minor in early childhood psychology.
Oh, wow.
So I became Dr. Green whenever I finished my PhD studies and became a PhD candidate and finished my dissertation and all of that great fun stuff.
Oh, wow.
We're actually in 3rd year of research, and so I wrote a curriculum as a part of my my whole dissertation, and right now I'm collecting data and evidence of how integrating culture and hands-on learning and how integrating personal relationships, kind of like you did with Jamie,
Right.
is important in early education.
Okay, awesome. So were you in, as an educator, you were a teacher first?
I actually was on the path to become a public school teacher.
Okay.
And I ended up, because I had 2 little ones, working in childcare. And so I was in an early childhood classroom, so I kind of stayed that path. That was my calling. And it went from there. I was working in the classroom, working with 3-year-olds, 4-year-olds. Little people are my heart. 3-year-olds are my favorite age group. And I kind of like grew from there. I went from being the classroom assistant teacher to the classroom teacher to the assistant director to the director to the cook.
Oh, wow.
And then finally opening up my own center about 2 years ago in Spring Cypress.
So you have your own school.
Yes.
And what ages of children can come there?
So we're licensed from birth to 12 years of age. So I service infants all the way to school-age kids. Pre-COVID, we had about 170 kids enrolled.
Oh, wow.
And so we service quite a few kids from the Klein ISD and Cypher ISD school district, including students with special needs. So we had about 20 children that are enrolled in our program that are also enrolled in PPCD programs with the district.
Oh, wow.
So we are really excited to provide those services.
Wow. And so tell us, as far as the positives, and we'll get into what your school is doing for the new school year, but what are the positives of you being home during the COVID?
Well, childcare is essential. Mm-hmm. So I have to be there for my parents who are working. So when the essential orders came out, we still had about 45 parents of our 170 parents that were still working. So I had to be there every day. And one of the great things about that is that we were able to make our group size smaller.
Okay.
And so those kids got that one-on-one attention, those smaller ratios. Being at home with my girls, I got to see kind of hands-on what they go through during the day with their schoolwork, how to balance schoolwork, their personalities when it comes to learning, because I only get the at home and I don't know what it's like when they're online. And so when they're snoozing over it, I'm like, do you do this in class? Well, she really doesn't teach in class. We do go. I'm like, oh my God. So being at home, I really got to see how my child learns, not just what the teacher has told me, not just their perspectives, but overall each one of their individual personalities when it comes to learning.
Right. And that's great, your school. So you haven't really stopped working.
No, I have not.
Please put some hand claps, in the comments for Dr. Green. We thank you for your dedication. It sounds like your school is very needed, especially with this time. We, like you said, the essential workers, they still needed childcare, and you were able to utilize your school and help them with that.
Right. So during the shutdown, first we got the news that elementary school kids were not going back to school. So that impacted us after spring break. Right. So we had parents that were anticipating on their kids going back to school, and then they got messages as to kids doing at-home learning.
Right.
So then they're not really at home, they're in childcare. And at first, we were not equipped. We were just planned for spring break, going on field trips every day, having fun, splash, stuff like that. And so then it became a serious topic as to how are we going to integrate classroom learning with 20 children who were kindergarten all the way to 5th grade.
Wow.
All in one room. And so it was definitely a shock, but we did a lot of Zoom calls with parents. We did some at-home learning for our preschool kids who couldn't come back.
Right.
So we did some activities online. So it did change the makeup and the culture, but we never closed, not one day during the epidemic. We stayed open the whole entire time.
Wow.
The whole entire
That's
time.
a blessing. That's a blessing. So, Jamie, have you been helping your mom at her school?
Yes.
She's like, yes. So, what have you been doing to help her?
She has this program called lunch and dinner. So she did dinner, and I used to do that when I came home from school. But since we didn't go to school anymore, she shut down the dinner program. And before I went to my driving lessons, I did lunch for her, and I'll go to the classrooms and help some of the kids that don't get enough attention in those classrooms. So I'll help them, or I'll just go with her to do some errands for the school, help put away groceries.
Right. That's awesome. And I'm sure you were happy that you had extra hands. What about your sister?
Her sister is actually our assistant infant teacher.
Oh,
so she works a double shift. She works from 7 to 9, and then she comes back to work at 11:30 and works to 6 o'clock.
Wow.
So she is loving the fact that she gets to teach because she wants to be a teacher.
Yes.
And she loves the fact that she's making a full-time work person's paycheck, which is taking, I'm like, wait a minute, we all out of budget with this overtime. But she's there 100%. And I think the hands-on learning and the real world, they've had to learn how to budget. They didn't even know how to write a check or how to turn their check over to the bank. So they don't learn that in school. How to use a debit card, how to check their account balance. So now they know, hey, I need to check before I spend. So I think this was a great time to teach them real life experiences because Jordan is getting ready to go to college. And she didn't know exactly what. And so I was embarrassed to go to the bank with her, and she's like, how do you turn this check in? How do you turn this check into money? And I'm like, what? You give it to? She's like, so do they give me cash back, or how does this work? And even her, she's like, I need to turn this check in somewhere. And so it definitely taught
and you're right. As far as with the curriculum, as far as me teaching, yes, we have a very small window on, finance, credit card, balancing. We used to have a little more in there to help teach that, because some children really, they need more time to learn how to balance the checkbook. But yeah, we have a very small little window to actually teach those financial credit cards, debit cards, the differences between, what
Check
they are.
Yeah.
So you are absolutely correct on that. So guys, I want us, and I'm going to start with you, because we know that there have been a lot of negative things that have gone on during the COVID. So as a student, what negative things, or how has the COVID impacted you negatively?
The learning, some of the things that they put onto the learning website is we don't learn that in school. Some classes we really don't do much. So when I'm filling those classes and I'm telling my mom, she's like, well, she has to talk to my teacher, and she's telling her one thing, and it's like, we don't learn that in school. And when I'm looking at my notes, it's like I don't have my notes. They're in my classroom, and I struggle majority of that time. And being stuck in the house, I don't like being stuck in the house. I can't go outside, can't go see my friends. It was hard.
All the typical things of being a youth. They want to go play, they want to go outside, and the safety issue with that, of course. But as far as the curriculum and learning, I think what happened, and I know what happened. When we went to spring break, as you stated, and then we were supposed to be coming back, we didn't come back after spring break, and everything just, the COVID is here. Everything had to go shift right away, and we had to continue teaching online, which some of those online platforms we were using, but not to the capacity that we should have been to be able to do it full time. And so when you say with the curriculum and the lessons, we as teachers had to show that we're teaching you guys, we're working you guys, but some of the platforms that we were having to use, we were still learning ourselves. And so that was a
learning curve.
A curve for all of us. You know, we have teachers who are close to retirement, who've never had to really do that kind of teaching online. We have some teachers who were brand new, who, you know, they're still trying to learn just the whole thing about teaching and then having to go online. So we had so many dynamics of that. That was one way. Now, what I did, I just pulled things I knew that my students could do. Showed them how to get online, the Zoom, okay, how to do YouTube. I had private YouTube lessons for them so I could kind of explain. You know, we kind of just had to make it happen. Yeah. You know, we had to make it happen, and I didn't want anybody to be stressed out because we know we had some personal things going on. So as far as negatively at home, did you experience any sadness or anything with the COVID?
Yes, I was like depressed in my room. I couldn't do anything. I was just like stuck in the house. I gained weight. It's like,
you gained weight?
I did. I lost some of it, but it's like I did. I ate a lot. Me and my sister would go out to eat. Like, Mom would be like, "Where did they go?" "Oh, we went to dinner." Like, we would just leave the house. It was like the only thing we could do was like go get food, and it was like,
what were you and your sister eating?
Like, it's this place called Big City Wings. We'll go there every single day. It's just like
running up that debit card, like Big City Wings, Uber eating, door dashing. I'm like, oh my God, like y'all spend too much money on food. And they're like, well, we don't have nothing else to do. I'm like, oh my God.
Right. And so your sister has a car?
Yes.
Okay. So you and your sister just rolling out and you running your parents' cards up to go get foods. And you're right. It was a lot. It's still a lot.
Yeah.
For youth and even adults to deal with on how to deal with staying at home. How to deal with working from home. I have some coworkers that say, hey, it's harder working at home than going to the school.
It is, yeah.
Because the kids are running around. You guys are old enough, but younger kids, they're making noise in the background.
You said she old enough.
Meaning she's not at that.
Yes, ma'am.
Wait.
I'm trying to go live and, do things, sales and stuff, and you hear boom, 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 boom. Get off of me! Oh! And it's like, didn't I tell y'all I was going live? Like, what's going on? Didn't I tell you I had a Zoom meeting? Didn't I tell you I was meeting with all the parents today?
Really?
And then they're upstairs wrestling and screaming and laughing. And then at 3 o'clock in the morning, because, they don't have to go to school.
Right.
So they sleep all day, stay up all night.
Oh.
3 o'clock in the morning, you hear, ha, 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 ha. What did you say? And you hear music, and then they take showers for like 3 hours. I mean, I don't know what's going on.
So it's just all the kids.
It's all ages. They're worse at that age because they know better.
Right. So y'all up there cutting up. 3 a.m.? Your sister was just having a ball, huh?
Well, my cousin lives with us now, so I share a room
Oh,
with her,
so you have more.
I have another daughter.
Okay.
So I have 3 girls, well, actually 4, in the house, and I have those 2 that share a room, and they're the same age, and it's the age, and let me do this TikTok, and let me do this dance.
Okay,
and
TikTok.
And then, Mom, look at me, I'm doing the dance. And so, go ahead, do your dance.
You live at 5. Come on.
Go ahead. She's come in the room and then pop around the corner and then just start dancing. And I'm like, oh my God.
Wow. So, yes, it's a lot for us to work from home. A lot of people to work from home. And as you see, you're talking about they were up. You trying to do lives and Zoom meetings. So, guys, yes, it is very difficult to work from home. And for those, like you say, you got 4 in the house. So as a parent, as an adult, what negative things, give me a couple of negative things before we go to break, about staying at home with the COVID, during the pandemic.
I think, for every negative, there's a solution to the issue. So at first, the negative was I didn't know their schedule and what they were doing and what was due. So then I pulled them and I said, hey, sit down. I need a detailed schedule of what time you're doing this class, when you're going to do this class, because when teachers start emailing me, and mind you, I have 2 daughters in school. They have 8 teachers apiece, 7 teachers apiece. That's 14 teachers, 14 different emails that are coming through. Not to mention my niece is there as well. So we have all these emails. She didn't turn this in, or she didn't log into Google. So I had that issue. And then my biggest thing with not that they were home and the school, it's just that no one had a real backup plan or a solution for this. And this is something that we've been talking about for a long time, that kids, this time may come. And to me, I was really shocked at the school district's lack of organization when it came down to online learning, because this is nothing new. You have K through 12 at home who has a program where kids can learn from home.
Exactly.
You have universities that have online, online classes, because I've taken online classes. So it was really hard to balance that out.
Right. So, guys, we're going to get more into the negative effects of COVID at home, the parent and student views. Guys, you're watching Mind, Body, and Goals. I'm Tiffani R. Singz, and this is Boss Up Houston Network. Do not go anywhere. We want to continue talking. Please share this video, and thank you for tuning in.
Boss Up Houston, you know why? Right here.
This is Mind, Body, and Goals. I am Tiffani R. Singz. Guys, I have some awesome guests here tonight. I have Dr. Carolyn Bobb-Green and her lovely daughter, who is my former student, Jamie Green. So we are here talking about the effects of COVID from the student and parent views. And I'm sure we all can relate to being a parent or being a student during this pandemic. And me being an educator as well as Dr. Green and having her own school, she has played a very influential role in this time with students and families. So we were talking about the negative effects, Dr. Green. You were talking about it's hard to work from home. Your girls are up there TikToking and dancing at 3 a.m. because they don't have to get up and go to school.
They don't, yeah.
And you mentioned about the lack of preparation and organization of certain school districts. And it really isn't any particular one. All of the districts just were not prepared.
Right.
And I think this was a great lesson for everyone to know, hey, we got to have backup because we had never gone through something like this
before. Yeah.
I was in college when Hurricane Katrina wiped out everything. I went to Southern Baton Rouge, and those students had to come to Baton Rouge to go to school. It was similar to what we're dealing with now because then schools were flooded, homes were flooded. People had to flee from New Orleans right away. And so I think that being prepared for the unexpected will help us, now for the future, really have things set in place for everyone. So as far as your school, Dr. Green, what do you guys have coming up for the new school year? How are you going to, what are you going to do with your students?
So we do have the accommodations of the fact that we have to go down to lower ratios, so smaller classroom size. So for our infants through our pre-K program, they will resume regular curriculum as normal. So what we've decided to do for our school-age children is open up a limited amount of spots because of our new ratio guidelines and provide technology, earbuds, whatever those parents need, and provide them services from 6:30 a.m. to 6:30 p.m., giving them time to be in their own private learning stations to do their classroom YouTubes or their classroom online learning. And then once they're done, they will go with a private tutor teacher. Depending on the age group, we're going to group them K through 3rd grade and then 3rd through 5th grade to help them with their work.
Okay.
So it's definitely changed the dynamics of how we do after school, and it's also changed our program because now we have to really focus and make sure that those new kindergartners who've never been to school before are doing their online learning.
Exactly.
Those 1st graders whose attention spans are like that short, that they're actually getting what they need. And also providing an affordable program because those parents did not budget to be paying for full-time school because they're supposed to be at school. So it's supposed to be part-time. So we're definitely working with families with some special pricing, making sure that we have the technology, internet capability available for online learning and the accountability piece because I've hired an extra teacher to go into that program to make sure that those children are focused when they're in their online classes and when they're doing independent studies.
Right.
So we're trying.
Sounds like you got it under control, Dr.
We're
Green.
We have a lot of stuff working in for the fall, but I can honestly say that it has definitely changed everything about our academy. And so, but I'm really excited because now we get to really control and show teachers that we are their support system.
Right.
We don't want to work against the school system. Child care centers want to work with you.
Exactly.
And so we really want to show them that, we are here to support, make sure that those kids are focused, hold them accountable, and you can't give discipline and guidance over a camera. So we're there to make sure, hey, you're off subject, you need to focus. Your teacher is talking to you.
That's
putting
excellent.
them back on track, unlike parents who's like, just focus. So we're there to be that calm, redirecting entity that gets kids back focused on their schoolwork.
That's really, really awesome, Dr. Green, because, kids, even some of my students, I had students not logging in, logging in late, and I'm that teacher. You came in at 10 minutes. We got 10 minutes left. I'm gonna have to release you off this Zoom,
right?
Because you missed class today. And so I think, getting them to know that now you've got to be accountable.
Right.
You have got to be logging in on time. You have to be, there when it's your time and follow your schedule, because we're not in the classroom.
Right. And one thing I want to say about that, like for middle school and the high school kids, it's different, that accountability piece, because I was upset with them when I got an email. I was like, why didn't you log in? Not really taking to the understanding that they too was kind of trying to learn the system, wake up on time, and this class is today, but it's not tomorrow, and getting it together. But what I want to say to some teachers is that when you're talking about K through 3rd, 4th, 5th grade, when kids log in late, it's because parents are at home trying to work and get their kid on the computer. And sometimes they're sharing a device. Yeah. And I know even for ourselves, I had to set reminders because I had 4 kids in our school age programs that had to be on Zooms at different times, different days, and we only had like 6 tablets, and I'm like running back there. It's nap time for the other kids. You're supposed to be on at 12:30. Get on. And I'm like 10 minutes late trying to get everybody. Now we have a system in place, but I know it was one teacher, she was like, you can't be late to class. And I got on and I said, look, it's not her fault. We're trying to make the best accommodations as possible. Now, if they're in middle school and high school, they have cell phones and all that kind of stuff. But my little ones, I do want to say to teachers who are working with those elementary kids, like, have an humble spirit when you're dealing with them, and understand that a lot of this is not under their control, because the adult is the one that's controlling the technology. Exactly. And at the particular school at that time, I could only have like 10 people online at one time, and I had 20 kids trying to get online, and I'm like, you got to be late to class because these 5 got to be in here and this. But now we have the capabilities to support it. But it really was an eye-opener, and I just really wish that there wasn't so many. You have too many things. I told one of the districts, I said, less is more. If you're going to use Google Classroom, use Google Classroom. Don't do Google Classroom, YouTube, and then this and that, because then the kids are confused, right?
Exactly.
And so we definitely kind of got it together right towards the end of the school year. And so I think that this year, going into it, we're more prepared, more equipped, have more internet capability to support those kids that we are going to allow to stay with us throughout the school year.
Awesome. Dr. Green, I'm gonna have to come visit your program.
You do.
And I do want to also bring Boss Up Houston so we can kind of capture some footage of what you're doing. I think that that's a great thing that you have. We need to, more people need to know what you're offering. And so how, I guess with the tablets and the electronics, have you had people to sew in to you in your school as far as giving away electronics?
No, we haven't. We are a private pay facility, so the parents do pay to go there. I know some districts are going to give out laptops, but that was a personal investment that we made as a school because I knew that my kids needed it.
Right.
So where there wasn't very many opportunities out there, especially during the COVID, a lot of businesses were just strapped for cash. And so what we did was cut back on some other costs and invested in technology so that our kids, so parents wouldn't have to worry about a cell phone, a tablet, a computer. We got enough tablets to make sure. And this coming year, we did put in an order for more tablets because I wanted to make sure that we assign kids who are not going to get computers from the school district, an electronic device that they can use when they're in the classroom.
Awesome. So I know some folks.
Hey, folks.
I don't know how many, but I'm gonna help and try to sew in to get you some more electronic devices.
That would be wonderful. Parents would be so happy.
Yes, because I believe what you have is awesome. I had no idea you had this going on. We are friends on social media, and I see you have another kind of business, right?
Yes, I do. I have a mobile boutique.
Okay, yes.
So, yes, I have a mobile, serial entrepreneur, creativepreneur is what I call myself. But we have the mobile boutique, and also I have a training company for early childhood teachers. That's where I started. So when you were teaching Jamie, I was teaching teachers to get their certification, their CDAs, director's license, consulting people to open up their own centers. So I would say we opened up so many centers, and finally I was like, why am I not opening up my own school? What is wrong with me?
Right.
And so 3 years ago, the opportunity became available, and we decided to go ahead and do it, and that way we could be a model, not just me going out teaching teachers how to properly interact with young kids, not just teaching them how curriculum and classroom management should look, but actually being a model for them to be able to come into school and I say, look in this window and watch this teacher. You see how she's handling this toddler?
Right.
You see how we're potty training? You see how we're doing it this way? And then also be an example for other child care centers and say, you know, it's not about the bottom line, it's not about the money, but it's about really setting that foundation.
Right.
And that is so important these days because kids don't get it. And they struggle when they get to 5th grade. They struggle in kindergarten. They struggle in pre-K. And we go over and beyond. And like Jamie said, she's been pulling a lot of our kids that came in during COVID that had never been to childcare before. And I had a couple of kids that couldn't recognize not even their name, not even a letter, couldn't count past 5. And she's been pulling them, sitting with them, and saying, okay, this is number 1, this is number 2, so that we can prep them for kindergarten.
Wow, Jamie, you have really blossomed. You are helping the students, which is great. You're helping your mom. And you're helping your family because it's a business you guys have, and then you're helping other younger students. So they're looking up to you now, you know, and they're like, oh, Jamie, help me. Or, you know, younger kids always want to follow the older kids. So I really commend you for working with them and helping your mom as well. So we talked about the positive things, the awesome things. Have you guys lost anyone due to COVID during this time?
Thank goodness, no, we haven't. And I know one thing that I wanted to say about the loss and catching COVID is I know a lot of parents are concerned about child care centers and being in child care centers. And one of the things that we actually implemented, we haven't had any parents to test positive for COVID. We haven't had any teachers or kids to test positive for COVID. But one thing that we did was we went that extra step. And if you're a child care owner, child care manager, we went through a company called Disinfect. We were with them before COVID because we didn't want all the ill, you have a little one, snotty nose, all of that. But we actually use a microfilm that comes in and spray the whole entire facility. They come in and test our doorknobs, our teacher hands, all of that to make sure that they don't pick up any signs of COVID and other germs that live on the surface, and making sure that our kids are safe. So while we don't our teachers don't wear masks with the kids because they're so little, but they do take extra precautions. And if you are in a child care center, ask them the questions. Don't just leave your kid there. Ask them, what are they doing to disinfect to make sure that these kids are not catching COVID, because people are dying. We've had parents to tell us that family members have passed, but thanks be to God, we haven't lost anyone close to us. We haven't had anyone in our immediate family to test positive, but I do know people who have tested positive. So it's definitely been an eye-opening thing to hear and see so many people go through that.
Right. And I, like you say, with parents taking their children, be mindful, ask those questions. You had it in place before the COVID. Some other centers did not. And a lot of kids were sick all the time.
Yes.
And that was that was a thing because, like you say, some of the essential workers didn't have daycare or child care. So then they had to send their students, but the centers were not prepared for on that end as far as having the protection, the test that you have in place, which should already have been in place.
Right. Because you just never know.
You never know, so that's awesome. So as far as the parent view, you're an educator, you have a school, but the parent view of being home with your children during COVID, negative things that you've seen, or positive?
Definitely the negativity is that they were off schedule. So there's no schedule, and I'm a person of schedule, so they know. I'm like, set your alarm, you still need to get up at 8 o'clock. Do not wake up later than 8 o'clock. You cannot, you need to go to bed. So I did notice that as a parent, I needed to really work on schedule, and it forced me to be more in tune as to what they're learning and what's going on. So now I can ask those questions. I know what's happening in the classroom. Some I mean, that was positive for me.
Right.
I think some negative things is I know that they are exposed to way more stuff now being at home than they are when they're at school. I know that you
Exactly.
see things, but now they have a free for all. They have all day to search on their phone. They have
Yep.
things to look up. They have words that they're picking up, choicy words that I don't care to hear. Whereas it's like when they were in school, they were a little bit more calmer or
Right,
more
right.
secretive or something. But now it's like I know everything, and it's like keep that stuff to yourself.
Right.
So it definitely has changed, but I think overall I would rather my kids be safe and for me to have those issues at home than to be planning a funeral for one of my girls right now.
Right, absolutely. So, Dr. Green King, before we go, could you please tell us where your school is and the name of your school and your name of your boutique? And we'll be following up with you, and I'm going to be working with you closely.
Okay, so I have Adventures in Learning Academy, and it's located in Spring, Texas, right off of Louetta Road. We also have Style It Up Mobile Boutique, and it is a mobile boutique, so it's like a food truck. So you can book it, and it'll come to all your events and stuff. And we also have Training You to Succeed, which is an early childhood educational service for teachers who are looking to get in child care, daycare owners. If you want to open up a center, contact us and we will definitely walk you through the steps.
Awesome. And Jamie, give us one statement to students before we go back to school, a positive thing.
Just make sure you're successful.
Make sure you're successful.
She's so funny.
I know. Thank you guys for coming to Mind, Body, and Goals here at Boss Up Houston Network. I'm very pleased and happy that you shared your life and things that you're doing.
Thank you for having
Guys,
us.
thank y'all for tuning in. We are here at Boss Up Houston Network every Friday at 7 p.m. And we're going to keep on rolling with these awesome topics and guests. I am Tiffani R. Singz. You've been watching Mind, Body, and Goals tonight. And Mind, Body, and Goals, food for your soul. See y'all next week. Bye.
Bye.
You blow my mind.